Hey there, it's Kyan. Today we're going to be discussing the 10 films nominated for the 2026 Academy Award for Best Picture. I'll rank them starting at the bottom and we'll gradually work our way up to my predicted winner. I'll go over each of them individually, talking about their strengths and weaknesses, while also comparing these drastically different films. Now don't worry, there won't be any major spoilers here, just in case you haven't had a chance to see them all yet. 2025 felt like a drier year early on, but looking back on it now, it feels much more rich and diverse, even compared to 2024. Now, of course, this is all highly subjective, so you should see all of these films for yourself and form your own opinions, and then also be sure to let me know your thoughts and your picks for the year in the comments section down below. Real quick, if you are a longtime viewer of my channel, you may be curious to hear about where I've been and the future of my channel. If you're interested, just stick around to the end of the video and I'll talk a little bit about it then. Alright, let's dive in. Coming in at number 10 is F1. Despite being last year's big summer blockbuster, this film never really stood much of a chance in this category. Joseph Kosinski's film is an immersive, thrilling look into Formula One motorsports. From Hans Zimmer's incredible score to Claudio Miranda's visceral cinematography, this film had pretty much everything going for it. Plus Brad Pitt and Javier Bardem, Carrie Condon, Damson Idris, charming performances all around. I've got to admit though, you really do start to feel that runtime, especially by the end of the film at least. Coming in at 2 hours and 35 minutes, it's a surprisingly long movie, actually, arguably too long. Plus, it's quite formulaic too, not that that's necessarily unexpected or even a bad thing for this type of film. I mean, Kosinski's previous blockbuster effort, Top Gun Maverick, was unusually good, like really good. But that too was also really formulaic, but maybe that works here, you know, for these types of films. I think that maybe that plays to its benefit. Overall, F1 is a pretty solid movie, but generally not at all Best Picture material. Coming in at number 9 is Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro's contemporary take on Mary Shelley's classic novel is an interesting one. Oscar Isaac and Mia Goth are fantastic, and Jacob Elordi is genuinely transformative. I wasn't so sure that guy from Euphoria could disappear into a role like this, but he really did. It really does work. He's fantastic in the film, and so I had anticipated seeing him be nominated for the film, but I don't see him winning the award over, frankly, anyone else in the category because it's pretty stacked. And of course, it's always a pleasure to watch Christoph Waltz on screen. He is one of the greats, without a doubt. So it's got solid performances, great cinematography, and stunning sets. The production design here is genuinely incredible. Despite the solid competition in this category as well, I would not be surprised if this wins for Best Achievement in Production Design. And I think it's got a pretty good chance at winning for Best Costume Design and also makeup and hairstyling too, just considering some of the previous winning films. Frankenstein is in many ways a gorgeous film, but it's also quite slow. I think it was a bit poorly paced in the script, but even with that, I think a lot of it could have been cleaned up in the edit. However, of course, these things are far easier said than done. It's very easy to sit back after watching a film and think, oh, they should have cut that down, but I mean, when you're actually in the editing suite, I can only imagine how daunting it is, especially for a film of this scale, to try to like cut it back or something like that, especially with like an auteur like Guillermo del Toro. I mean, you don't really want to like interfere with his vision too much, and the film is great on its own. It's just a little bit slow by today's standards, but a lot of these films are, and I think that that's largely a good thing. All in all, Del Toro's adaptation is a stunning one, and like all of these films, it's more than worth checking out for yourself. Coming in at number 8 is Hamnet. Now, I hate to have to put a film like this so low on the list, but I think that just goes to show how strong all of these films really are. What an incredible year for film. Chloe Zhao's film is an emotional journey. It's a devastating portrait with high highs and low lows. Like, for example, it's often quite quiet, but at times it's also incredibly intense. My highest praise for the film would be, probably unsurprisingly, the performances. Everyone is outstanding. Jessie Buckley is a revelation. She blew me and probably everyone else away with her performance. It's truly an incredible thing to watch on screen. It's a masterful, devastating performance where you can truly feel her pain, her aching sadness. It's riveting, heartbreaking, and completely arresting. The whole film is, really. I was left utterly stunned by two sequences in the middle of the film. If you've seen the film, you probably know which scenes I'm talking about. And wow, those kids can act. Where did they find them? It's such incredible casting. Not to mention the beautiful sets. I mean, everything throughout the film, but especially the construction of that entire, finale climax sequence, everything that takes place there. I mean, that set is stunning. It's jaw-dropping. Beautiful production design, and it's also shot really well. The cinematography is incredible. Hamnet wasn't nominated for cinematography, and so for several reasons, it's not going to get talked about as much as some of these other films due to its more subtle, naturalistic approach, but I think it deserves its praise. It's a beautiful looking film. I could also see this winning for production design as well, and maybe costuming too. And despite the other solid nominees, I do think that Jessie Buckley pretty much has that Best Leading Actress win in the bag at this point. I'd love to see Emma Stone get recognized here as well, but of course she has won in this exact category twice before, so I think that counts for something as well. I think this film will also likely win for Best Casting because, as I said, I mean, with the kids, with everybody in the film, everyone's perfect for these roles, so I wouldn't be surprised if this film nabs that award. I felt somewhat mixed on Acts 1 and 3, but was absolutely floored by Act 2. Admittedly, some of it does feel a little overly methodical or even contrived at times, but generally speaking, Chloe Zhao's film is a thoughtful one, and it really does pull on your heartstrings. Coming in at number 7 is Marty Supreme, and I know, only 7th place, really. It was a great film. Everybody liked this film, and I did too. There were just a lot of great films this year. There's a lot to consider. Tough competition. Josh Safdie's arresting, climactic masterwork is just the kind of riveting, overwhelming beast of a film that we've come to expect from the Safdies. Timothée Chalamet's spectacular, more than award-worthy performance is the heart of the film. However, I did feel a little conflicted about that ending. It's a solid ending, I feel like it's inherently a little bit more conflicting than in some of the other reviews that I've seen. But I mean, other than that, it's quite the ride. I mean, the stunning cinematography from DP Darius Kanji and his team is some of the best of the year. It looks incredible, and so I could definitely see this film winning for cinematography, and maybe also editing as well. I mean, we'll see. It's kind of a tougher category in general, but also, especially this year, it's just such a diverse collection of films. It's hard to judge which one has the best editing. I don't really know by the Academy standards of the best or most impressive, maybe this one, but we'll see. Excellent performances from the entire cast, including a surprisingly good performance from controversial millionaire businessman Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. Guess somebody must have let him out of the tank for this one. And truthfully, he is really good in the film. I mean, if we're being completely honest here, he is playing himself, perhaps a heightened version of himself, but he's still undeniably very good in the movie. Clocking in at nearly 2.5 hours, it still manages to be a fairly tight film. Overall, it's excellent, truly great, but not quite into the realm of this last year's best films, in my opinion. Unsurprisingly, Marty Supreme comes highly recommended. And now coming in at number 6 is Bugonia. Watching this film, I felt I'd finally clicked with Yorgos Lanthimos. I mean, I loved The Favorite, and I've been a huge fan of his style and other projects since then, but his last two feature films, Poor Things and Kinds of Kindness, were highly conflicting for me. While incredibly bold and impressively ambitious, those two films didn't quite work for me, especially in the case of the former. I mean, such masterful ideas, such great, albeit dark and disturbing themes, incredible performances, gorgeous cinematography, stunning production design. But at its center was, to me, a somewhat undeniably rotten core. Watching Poor Things, I struggled with some of the nuances and complexities of its characters, ideas, and themes, but maybe it's time for a rewatch. Now, his style and work both thematically and narratively finally clicked with me here again in Bugonia. The always impressive Emma Stone is, of course, incredible here. Truly one of the greats of her generation, one of the greatest working today. However, it's Jesse Plemons with arguably the best performance in the film. He's an incredibly versatile, talented actor, so it's no surprise that he's great here, but the fact that he even manages to upstage Emma Stone is impressive in its own right. Yorgos Lanthimos worked with his frequent collaborator DP Robbie Ryan to shoot this film on VistaVision. Now, Bugonia is only one film from the last few years to once again utilize the Beaumont VistaVision system, but it really does look incredible here. I mean, this gorgeous 8-perf 35mm format's resurgence over the last few years is very, very exciting. Great visuals, production design, editing, and the score is just incredible as well. However, sadly, I wouldn't be surprised if this film walks away winning none of the Academy Awards it's nominated for, like the incredible Killers of the Flower Moon from a few years ago. So anyway, there's a lot to think about with this one. It's important and incredibly timely in ways more than one. It's beautiful, shocking, mostly unpredictable, and also quite disturbing. It's overall a great film. Okay, we're now halfway through. Next up at number 5 is The Secret Agent. Writer-director Kleber Mendonça Filho seems to think that the stories we tell matter, and I happen to agree with him now more than ever. His film is an incredibly relevant and enigmatic one that tackles a lot of the issues we're facing, especially in today's modern world. So much of this film's themes revolve around journalism, and more specifically journalistic integrity, plus perspective, political corruption, memory, academia, and misinformation. There's a particular subplot, including one more notable surreal sequence in the film involving a severed limb. Now, that'll actually sound really bizarre to anyone who hasn't seen the film, but it's a pretty significant part of the film, I think. I mean, to anyone who has seen the film, I think you'd agree. It also just highlights the film's ideas and themes really well, and it's also arguably one of the most straightforward examples of such themes surrounding misinformation and journalistic integrity, corruption, etc. The Secret Agent is such an introspective, fleeting, reflective film with quietly profound ideas, and it was a blast to watch in theaters. Such a thoughtful, meditative film that was also really well shot. It was shot on Arri Alexa 35, like so many films these days. Great cinematography, music, production design, editing. I mean, the film's structure is fascinating in its own right. And Wagner Moore is incredible, just marvelous to watch. Such a great performance and such great screen presence. While I don't necessarily quite see it happening, he might just get that Best Leading Actor Oscar, which would be amazing, so, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. While I don't necessarily see this winning Best Picture, I could definitely see this winning Best International Feature Film. It's gonna be either this or the next film on this list, or maybe it was just an accident, which I have yet to see. Like all of these films, The Secret Agent is incredible, so go and check it out for yourself. Now, this one may not be for everyone because it is rather slow and it can feel somewhat meandrous, and it's over 2.5 hours long, but I loved it. Now at number 4 is Sentimental Value. Joachim Trier's raw, tender film is most significantly about authenticity and reconciliation through art. Its gentle approach to taking on such themes is warm and inviting, and influence from Ingmar Bergman is simply radiating from off the film, specifically his films Autumn Sonata and Cries and Whispers. Joachim Trier's empathetic and sentimental film is evocative and beautiful to watch on screen. I really loved those first few minutes, which reminded me of another one of Bergman's films, Persona. No significant spoilers here, but the film's opening framing and personification of the family home is utterly beautiful. Those first 5 minutes are just an incredible short film on its own. After watching that, I was immediately impressed and enveloped within his narrative. This is a film with unique qualities and a somewhat layered execution. Now, I don't see this winning Best Picture. I mean, it would be incredible if it did, but I think at least maybe Best International Feature, we'll have to see. I mean, like I was saying, there's some pretty solid competition in that category too. I just love these types of films so much. I think cinematically and spiritually, these are the types of films that I connect to most significantly. The film was nominated for 9 Academy Awards, but was somehow not nominated for cinematography or original score, which are both quite surprising to me, particularly the cinematography nom. I feel like that's somewhat of a snub. I do think that they could win for maybe editing or original screenplay, though. Perhaps most impressive, more than anything else, are the performances. I mean, the core 4, Reinsve, Skarsgård, Lilios, and Fanning, are all incredible in this film. I mean, what an ensemble. But it was Inga Ibstadter Lilias who really blew me away. I hope I'm pronouncing all of the names in this video correctly because I know how that feels. Even though I'll be thrilled for any one of the nominees who win, she would be my pick for Best Supporting Actress. I really, really enjoyed this film, but it didn't quite impact me as much as I thought it would, or as much as some of these other films on this list, namely the next one. But I think that this is one that I'm gonna grow to appreciate even more with time. It's just so beautifully written, shot, edited, and performed that I can't wait to return to it. Next up at number 3 is Train Dreams. I wasn't so sure where I'd end up on this one, but this film just completely broke me. By the end, I was just sobbing. What a film. Part Andrei Tarkovsky, part Terrence Malick, this film is like a culmination of everything I love about cinema. It's highly reminiscent of Mirror, Tarkovsky's 1975 film, in so many ways. Clint Bentley's film brings this kind of storytelling to more American audiences, and I just think that's really cool. In fact, it feels like somewhat of an Americanized version of that film, spiritually anyway. They are somewhat significantly thematically and allegorically aligned. While I don't see this winning Best Picture, I would be thrilled for them if they did. I mean, it's an incredible film. But like several other films on this list, I feel like this film may not actually win very many of the awards that they're nominated for. This film's nominated in 4 categories, but due to the 2 final films on this list, which I think will somewhat significantly sweep the awards themselves, I don't see this film winning all that much. However, I do think it could win for Best Cinematography, which would be very interesting. It'll probably be one battle, but we'll see. Joel Edgerton is incredible. I think we can all relate to him and his character on some level. Also, Felicity Jones is great per usual, and wow, William H. Macy? I know he's done some dramatic work like this, but I haven't seen him a whole lot in this type of role or film like this before. He's great here. I definitely do think this film's beautiful score should have been nominated, but at least they were recognized for Best Original Song. Train Dreams is a meditative, psychological journey, and ultimately one that hit me really hard. I also primarily grew up in the Washington State, Pacific Northwest area, so this film was only more impactful in that sense, because it feels like home. If it's not already clear, I love this film and can't wait to watch it again soon. Alright, we're really coming down to it now. Number 2 is Sinners. Ryan Coogler's genre-bending folk horror masterpiece might just be my personal favorite movie of the year, and with such an incredible list of films like this, that's saying something. It's such an enjoyable, thrilling ride, and I've seen it 5 times now. I swear, it gets better every time. Ryan Coogler's vampiric odyssey tackles a myriad of highly compelling themes. Cultural appropriation, capitalism, corruption, religion, the influence of music, assimilation, and gentrification. Ryan Coogler clearly had a lot on his mind when he made this film. It's a masterpiece thematically, narratively, technically. I feel like it ticks every box. Coogler's absolutely incredible screenplay is brought up off the page through his stellar, miraculous direction. He makes it look so easy. Now that's the foundation, that's the baseline. You've got your script, you've got your director, but now it's up to also every department to also deliver in their own ways. And like several other films on this list, every department is spot on. Director of photography Autumn Durald Arkapaw shot the film partially on Ultra Panavision 70 and also IMAX 70mm film. The cinematography in this film is absolutely gorgeous, and everything captured in camera is also beautifully accompanied by everything done in post. All the VFX are incredible. And somehow I haven't even mentioned the score yet. The score from Ludwig Göransson is like an instant all-timer, even considering the incredible score from this next and final film on this list. Sinners has, in my opinion, the best score of the year. And what an experience it was to witness this film's score thundering through theater speakers not once, not twice, but 3 times. I don't think I've rewatched a film this many times in theaters since, like, I don't know, maybe Top Gun Maverick? In fact, I almost missed getting to see it in IMAX at all because last year when it opened in theaters, I was actually sick in the ICU at the time, and so I was really worried that I was never going to be able to see the film in IMAX. That and also like my life on the line. But months later, I got to rewatch it, and what an incredible thrill that is to witness that on such a massive screen with that incredible sound system. It's masterful. There's nothing like it. And now, as of today, like I said, I've seen the film 5 times, and I can't wait to watch it again. Marvelous performances all around, but Michael B. Jordan is nothing short of spectacular here. It's such a great dual performance that might even make you forget that these two characters are being played by the same person. Now, despite the steep competition in this category this year, Michael B. Jordan would be my pick for Best Leading Actor. Each of the 5 nominees would be more than deserving of the award in my mind, but his performance really stood out to me. All departments completely nailed it. I mean, the cinematography is amazing, the score is incredible, the production design is stunning, everything. The casting, the writing, the directing, the sound, the set dressing, costuming, makeup and hairstyling, editing, everything. It is no surprise that this film was nominated for a record-breaking 16 Academy Awards this year. I think this film also deserves the awards for at least Best Original Screenplay, Score, Best Original Song, Visual Effects, and Editing, if not also Directing and Cinematography, which I would say are somewhat tied with this last film. But wow, what a film, an instant classic. And now the top spot. Coming in at number 1 is One Battle After Another. In all honesty, Sinners and One Battle After Another are very nearly tied for the number 1 spot, but I think I would still give this film the edge. Paul Thomas Anderson's latest masterpiece feels not only instantly iconic, but essential to this period of contemporary cinema. It's an important film, and just one of the several films from this year that forces us to take a long, hard look in the mirror. Incredible direction, stunning cinematography, and its amazing score serve Anderson's masterfully written screenplay. Some of my favorite scenes in this film remind me of other directors, namely Stanley Kubrick. Recently, when I was writing for this video, I stumbled upon a quote from Steven Spielberg, who compared this film to Dr. Strangelove. And I completely agree. I feel like there's also a little bit of Eyes Wide Shut and maybe a little sprinkle of The Killing in there for good measure. It's a hugely ambitious, searing satire that takes aim at the state of the US right now. There's this quality to it, tonally and otherwise, that really sets it apart from other similar films. Not to mention the award-worthy performances, casting, editing, and sound. Leonardo DiCaprio is incredible here, and he's an incredibly universally well-established dramatic actor, but I feel like we need to see him in even more comedic roles because he's fantastic here, everyone is. Teyana Taylor, who I would also love to see win Best Supporting Actress for this role, Chase Infinity, Benicio del Toro, and Sean Penn, who is so good in this movie. What a performance. As much as I love Benicio del Toro, I think that Sean Penn more than deserves the award for Best Supporting Actor here. I'm still obsessed with his physicality in the film. One Battle After Another was also shot on VistaVision, and the film looks incredible. It's gorgeous. I would not be surprised if this film ends up winning for Best Cinematography, or maybe this or Sinners. Or Train Dreams. Or, I mean, maybe Marty Supreme. Johnny Greenwood's incredible score for this film is, in my mind, the only other score from this last year to actually rival Sinners for the award. I would still give the edge to Sinners, but damn, this sure comes close. I think this film will likely win for cinematography, directing, and adapted screenplay, and deservingly so, if not also potentially editing or maybe sound. Plus, I'm pretty sure they have Best Supporting Actor in the bag at this point, whether it's Benicio del Toro or Sean Penn. It's an important reflection of our era, and it frames revolutionaries as what they are, human beings. Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another is a triumphant battle cry, a modern film for the ages, and my pick for Best Picture. And that's all 10 nominated films. Which film do you think is going to win the Oscar for Best Picture? Let me know in the comments below. 2025 was a surprisingly solid year for cinema, and there are also plenty of other great films that weren't nominated for Best Picture, or, in the case of some films, weren't nominated for anything. Perhaps most egregiously, No Other Choice wasn't nominated for any Academy Awards? The fact that F1 was nominated for Best Picture over No Other Choice is kind of crazy to me. And that's not even to say that F1 isn't a good movie, because it is. That's the first one I talked about here, but no other choice, really? Getting snubbed for Best Picture? That's crazy to me. It was one of my favorite films from 2025, and somehow it wasn't nominated for anything? Directing? Adapted screenplay, at least? And there were plenty of other great films as well. I really loved Blue Moon, and The Phoenician Scheme, and Wake Up Dead Man was great, and Eddington. It was a pretty solid year for action movies, too. We actually got to see some superhero movies with some actual substance. I'm kind of joking, but at the same time, it was really cool to get to see some superhero films from 2025 not only be just great superhero movies, but also just genuinely good movies on their own, too. It was a pretty solid year for horror as well. I loved Weapons and am thrilled that Amy Madigan was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. I think that that's awesome. It's always cool to see a horror film get recognized by the Academy. And there were so many other great films this last year as well. So much humanity, so much diversity and creative expression. The films of 2025 were enthralling and only give me more hope for human-made art, which is something we definitely need right now. Alright, as I mentioned at the beginning, if you're a longtime viewer of my channel, you might be curious to hear a little bit about what I've been up to and future videos, so let's chat for a brief minute. Recently, I've been living here in Vancouver, BC. After graduating from film school last summer, I decided to stay here for a little while longer. While still pursuing work in front of the camera, I am now also working to develop my own projects and work behind the camera as well. I'm also planning to get back to spending more time on my channel very soon. Over the past several years, I have recorded dozens and dozens of other videos that I never got around to editing. While I'm still planning to go back and put out some of my older videos here and there and embrace the non-linear style of my channel, I'm also looking to focus on making new vlogs and new videos and talking about cinema. If you're already a subscriber, thank you, and I hope you enjoy what's to come. And if you're new around here, I hope you'll consider subscribing. You might enjoy my older content as well as my new videos. Alright, that's it. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like and also let me know in the comments what types of videos you might want to see from me in the future. Now go and catch up on any of these great films that you haven't already seen yet. Okay? As of the time of me recording this video, there's only a week until the Academy Awards ceremony, so got like no time, unless you're watching this in like years from now, and then you know if I got anything right today. I wonder if I predicted anything correctly. I probably got everything fucking wrong, didn't I? Well, that's the fun of a video like this. You get to really put it all out there. We'll see. No crazy opinions. No hot takes. Alright, see ya.